Well, good afternoon everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time, hasn't it? So we've been heavily involved in a house renovation and it's taken a lot longer and cost a lot more than what we thought. So we've been fully engaged in that since our trip down through Europe and into Morocco. But we've had enough of house renovations now. And it's time to go travelling once more. Excuse the mess because we still haven't finished the lounge and the carpets are going down shortly. So the way I go about planning trips, and in this case it's the NC500, I do a spreadsheet from one place to another. It's part of my planning process. It works well for me in my head. It gets me arranged, it gets me sorted, it gives me some kind of structure. And I like structure, being ex-military. So you'll see ahead of you a spreadsheet, and basically this takes us from home and it goes line by line and it tells you the mileage. There's a lot of auto maths behind it. It tells you the mileage I'm willing to drive a day before it goes over to 2 days. And this indicates a travel day as 1 and a non-travel day as 0. Then it gives you the links, park for night and iOverlander, or just type it in. Cost per night for the campsites, and then a location explanation, and then you get the days at the end. And down the left hand side it's from to, and then I just copy that box there into that box there and do the next location, and then again, and then again, and I'll just whiz it down to the bottom. It's quite an easy table, but it really gets me organised and it lets me know how much it's going to cost, importantly. So all these places we're going to visit on our NC500 trip, and we're both really looking forward to it. We're going to spend Sunday packing the motorhome, and then Monday we're going to set off bright and early. We're going to visit a few friends on the way. We've got a few friends in Scotland, which will be nice. And at the bottom it's a 14-day journey, and it's going to be 1,841 miles. So if I flick to the totals tab here down the bottom, basically automath tells me that NC500 is going to take 14 days and it's 1,841 miles. And then this part of the sort of chart here, UK litres per gallon is 4.55 over here. Average motorhome miles per gallon 16 with a wind behind me. Average fuel costing per litres is 1.44 in the UK, which is £6.55 per gallon. And I average we're going to spend £30 a day on food. So if you look at the totals around to the right hand side, total diesel is going to be 753, because that's worked out for the miles per gallon and the miles driven. Food totaling, in fact I'm going to change that to £20 per day, but I've upped to £30 a day. That was the Morocco money. That's £420 for the 14 days. Campsites, I average about £400 for the 2 weeks, and also incidentals, £300. Incidentals are bits and pieces that we want to spend on top of the planned money. And this adds up to £1,873.89. It won't be dead on, you and I know that, but it'll be there or thereabouts. It gives me a ballpark figure on what we're going to spend. And then I've got the map. It goes from one location to another. It just checks and balances. I do everything by Google Maps. I do the distances and the locations and the drive times, as you can see. There's an example here. Scowry to Cathall Beach campsite. It's going to be 31 miles. It's a 1 hour journey, and this is a description of what I've just told you about. And it's going to cost £31 for a campsite. Really good way. I think it's a really good way of planning a journey, really. And I did the same for Morocco. It was as you can guess, it was a lot more, much more complex. A lot more, that isn't even English. It was much more complex for Morocco, but I still like to know what we're going to spend. Morocco was a £7,500, and this is going to be just short of £2,000. So that's that. I've got the motorhome outside, parked on my drive. And it is, I've done the oil change, I've done the fuel filter, I've done the air filter, I've given it a really good clean, I charged the battery, just topped up yesterday. So as far as servicing is concerned, I've done all the oils and the lubes. Underneath, I've been underneath and I've checked if there's any rust, because of the I'll do an annual check just to make sure the condition of the underneath is fine, which it is. And there she is. We'll be packing her on Sunday and setting off first thing Monday. I do store it on the ramps because even though the drive is graded downwards towards the drain, water does still settle on the top and I just don't like it. So we put the ramps, which keeps the water flowing down and off the end. So there she is. Right, that's how I am planning the NC500. And I think the next video will be us on our way. So we'll catch you on the road. So this was night one. Night one was spent just outside Preston, at a place called Garstang. Now, on Park for Night and Search for Sights, this was a quiet little place, car park just off the road, and the car park gets quiet as the night moves on. It's not true, it's quite busy, and because it's harvest season as well, the farmers are in and out with the tractors. Only right as well, you know, we're the visitors, but yeah, it's quite noisy. However, reasonably flat. We had to use, I know you're not supposed to, but we had to use the levelling ramps at the front because of our boiler. There is a lovely little pub there. Day out, we went for a couple of drinks at last night. We shared the car park with a huge HGV truck that parked there, but he went about 4 or 5 o'clock this morning. We're going to head on now. We're going to head on to just outside Edinburgh, a place called Lithgow, and we're going to stay in the location of Lallybrook. And for those who watch Outlander, as I do, you will know that that's the home of Jamie Fraser, one of the main characters on Outlander. A fantastic series, if I could recommend that to you. So that's us ready to go. Had a decent night's sleep last night. I mean, I put my earplugs in, which I'll bring with me just in case we get nights like that last night. Right, I think we'll get on our way. So here we go, we are now entering Scotland on our homage to the NC500. Stayed just outside Preston last night, like I told you this morning, and then tonight staying just outside Edinburgh. There you go, welcome to Scotland. Hey! Well, hello again. That was a long journey. That was about well, 200 and odd miles, 210, 220 miles. But we're now just outside Lithgow. And this is our park up for the night. Another wild camp. It's supposed to be quiet, but there is a road just to our left and there's cars queuing to go over a small bridge. There's a set of traffic lights. Whether it's just the home time for, you know, people commuting backwards and forwards to home, I don't know. And hopefully it's not going to go on all night. But this is nice, it's level, no levelling blocks required. Our Tuesday boiler's working, so that's great. I just want to reflect on something that happened today. So, we were going through Hamilton. In fact, actually, what happened was, I said to Wendy, can you get me a supermarket with a filling station in Hamilton? Because it was getting to, there was a quarter of a tank left, and I don't like going below a quarter of a tank. So I asked her to plan a route into Hamilton and get a supermarket so I could get something to eat. I fancied a certain dish tonight that we used to have in Morocco, which is diced steak and salad in pitta. It's really nice actually, bit of a Moroccan dish. And we went to we were going past the filling station, so I said, right, let's get some diesel in here, and there's LPG as well, so we filled up the LPG. And I went to start the motorhome and it failed to start. So yeah, so what do you do? Well, we got the jump leads out, and we got a guy with a 4x4, and he gave us a jump, and we drove from there to Halfords, just the local Halfords, and the Halfords guy fitted us a new battery. So first of all he tested the battery, and then I asked him to test if there was the correct current coming from the alternator, because that might have been it as well, and it was all fine. The current was fine from the alternator, and the battery did a drop test on the battery, and the battery was buggered really. But what springs to mind is that happened there in Hamilton in a Morrison's forecourt, with a Halfords only a couple of miles away. What if that would have happened when we were miles from anywhere, part of the NC500? You know, it could have happened here. I mean, yeah, I could have flagged someone down to give us a jump start, but it didn't. It happened in, I was lucky that, wasn't it? I was really fortunate if that's happened there. If it had happened on the NC500 with a, you know, miles away from anywhere, down a single track lane, just pull over, stall the vehicle, can't start it in the middle of the road, you can just tell the faff that would have been caused by that. So that was real lucky. I mean, that was super lucky. And now we've got a brand spanking new battery, a little bit more powerful than the one that was fitted. Now it starts up fantastic. So yeah, just unbelievable. I thought I'd tell you that little story. That was just so lucky for it to happen there and not anywhere else that was really remote. So like I said, tomorrow we are going to leave here and we're going to go to Lallybroch, which is the house from Outlander, Jamie Fraser's house. He's a made-up character from Outlander. And then from Lallybroch we're going to go up to Inverness, and then we're going to go to Culloden Moor, have a look around Culloden Moor, and then from Culloden Moor we're going to find hopefully a wild camp, but they're quite sparse around there, so we shall have to see. On the way up somewhere we'll need to get some water on. Like I say, we got diesel today, we got LPG, so we're good to go for that. And probably the night after I'll go for a campsite, so we can have proper showers and do some washing and use the facilities and all that kind of good stuff.